Absolutely. Okay, so at what point in time did you go from like, dude, I love reading all these awesome stories and escaping the world to go cooler places, and decide you wanted to tell your own stories?
So probably in college, I had an English major roommate, and he was writing a bunch of stuff. He was actually doing a creative writing track. I was not. Um, and I thought, like, I always loved reading. I always loved writing, especially like in middle school and high school. And it just kind of had gone dormant. And so I just started kind of messing around here and there, and not really doing much. But then in earnest, I mean, throughout college and even in law school, I would occasionally just like kind of doodle stuff. And then after I got married, um, I'd had like three or four books that I kind of sort of started, again, just messing around, but wasn't really making any progress. I was like, everything was getting at chapter three and just dying. And so I decided, you know what, there's this, they have one of these like community classes at our local university. And I was like, it's in creative writing. What the heck? I'll take it. And so I took this class, and it was a pretty small class, but and the lady was Judy Candace, that was her name. She's since passed on, but really, really sweet woman. And she taught like some basic structure about how to go about putting together a story. And she had this revelatory idea that had never occurred to me for whatever reason, that hey, maybe you ought to outline, figure out, plot out ahead of time what your story is going to do, before you just try blazing off and running into a wall. And I did that, and lo and behold, I finally finished my first book, which was basically, bringing this back around full circle, was basically a Florida derivative work of Watership Down.